You aren't seeing reality right now. Your brain is the reason why. It is lying to you on purpose. While you watch this, your mind is actively deleting pieces of the world. Once you notice the gap, you won't be able to look away. We tell ourselves we want the truth, but we really don't. If your brain actually showed you the world clearly, you wouldn't feel enlightened. You would just be crushed by the weight of it all. Your brain edits reality. It decides what to cut before you even know it existed. Every second, your mind calculates if a piece of information helps you or breaks you. If the answer is break, your brain cuts the feed. Now imagine that filter breaks. You see every risk, every failure, every way your life could collapse. Now try sending a text. Try to make a plan. You can't. We've made a deal we never signed. We traded the truth for the ability to get things done. What we call reality is just the version of the world our brains think we can handle. So if your brain is hiding the world from you, what happens if something else starts controlling that filter? You think you're seeing everything in front of you, but you're not. Not even close. Before anything reaches your awareness, something else decides if you're allowed to see it. Your brain is a curator, not a camera. There is a guard standing at the edge of your awareness. It doesn't argue, and it doesn't explain. It just decides what gets in and what stays out. Every thought and every scrap of data has to walk past this guard to reach you. Scientists call it the prefrontal cortex. It looks at everything coming in and asks if the information is safe for you to know. If the answer is no, the guard closes the door. And here's where it gets dangerous. Your brain doesn't just hide reality. It rewards you for it. Every time you ignore something uncomfortable, you get a hit of dopamine. This is the same chemical linked to addiction. Feeling right feels better than being right. Our biology is rigged to protect our beliefs. When reality challenges how we see the world, you are fighting a chemical war inside your head. We call this motivated reasoning. So what you're experiencing right now isn't reality. It's a version of reality that's been edited, softened, and stabilized just enough to keep you functional. What happens if the filter just stops? Imagine you finally see everything exactly as it really is. Now imagine that filter breaks. You see every risk, every failure, every way your life could collapse. Now, try sending a text. Try to make a plan or feel motivated to do anything at all. You can't. Clarity doesn't make us powerful, and it often makes action feel pointless. In one study, people were asked to predict their level of control over events. The ones who were slightly depressed were the most accurate. They saw the truth, and they were also the least motivated to act. Neuroscientists call this depressive realism. They see things more accurately, but that clarity comes at a cost. They hesitate more. A small amount of illusion makes life livable. Optimism is rarely the truth, but it serves as the fuel we need to keep going. We plan for futures we can't guarantee and take risks that the math says we should avoid. Even falling in love happens while we know it might end. This is functional denial, and it is how we survive. Seeing clearly would not make us smarter. It would simply make us stop. You wake up. You reach for your phone before your eyes even fully open. In that 1 second, you handed your internal filter over to an algorithm. Our brains were built for a world where information was rare and slow. For most of history, new information actually mattered. Today, you see more data in a single afternoon than your ancestors saw in a lifetime. By 2026, over half of the global workforce reported cognitive exhaustion. The human system is hitting its limit. We are drowning in pings and threats that aren't even in the room with us. We have to decide what matters in a fraction of a second, and we are losing the ability to do it. None of this is an accident. The platforms we use are designed to find the gaps in our awareness. They study what makes us angry today so they can show us something similar tomorrow. They are rewriting your internal filter with code. You think you're choosing what you see, but most of what you see was chosen for you. Instead of making our world bigger, these systems build a smaller one around us. It is a loop where everything feels true because it already agrees with you. How do we handle this? If our brain is filtering the world and algorithms are hacking that filter, how do we avoid the trap? We can't just turn the filter off. We wouldn't survive a single day if we did. The goal is something else entirely: functional awareness. This is the ability to look at a hard truth without letting it crush you. It is about seeing the reality of a situation and still choosing to move. Start by asking better questions. Is this belief helping me? Or is it just a warm blanket? Is looking away from this problem going to cost me later? Denial has its uses, but some of it is just too expensive. Once you spot your own blind spots, they lose their power over you. Your brain is just an old system trying to keep you steady while the world shakes. But being steady and knowing the truth are two different things. Learning when to pick one over the other is the real skill. You don't want the truth. You want just enough of it to keep going.